associations, environmental advocates, healthcare, working people in frontline communities, and tens of thousands of Oregonians. Just a few weeks ago, more than 20,000 Oregonians marched in climate strikes across the state, from LeGrand to Klamath Falls to Portland. They know time is running out to take action to protect the health of our communities and pass on a livable world to our children. The students who led the way are fighting for their future and begging us adults to take the science seriously. Their very lives depend upon it. For me, it's personal. I have a 13-year-old son. As a mom, my life's work is to love him, protect him, and invest in him. I encourage him that he can do anything he sets his mind to. Now we face the greatest crisis in a generation, and together we're setting our minds to solving it. Our coalition of working Oregonians want to make one thing very clear. 2020 is the year that Oregon will take action to reduce the greenhouse gases that are threatening our forests, our fisheries, and our economy. 2020 is the year we stand up and say we will no longer accept dirty air that sends our children to emergency rooms from asthma attacks and impacts communities of color disproportionately. And 2020 is the year we take action, whether in the legislature or the ballot box. We will continue to work on passing the Clean Energy Jobs Bill. It will hold large polluters, corporate polluters accountable for the air pollution they create while investing in communities across our state. It will also create 50,000 good-paying jobs for Oregonians that can't be outsourced. It will also help protect existing jobs in industries threatened by climate change. We will invest in projects to make our communities safe from wildfires, protect our fisheries, and deal with drought. This is unfinished business. If lawmakers choose to walk away from Salem again in 2020 without passing clean energy jobs, we will take bold climate action to the voters, and we will win. You can see the breadth and depth of our support through our chief petitioners for the ballot measures. A nurse, a forest landowner from rural Oregon, a civil rights leader, and a business leader, all coming together as part of our unprecedented and united coalition. The support for action is overwhelming, and Oregonians will not back down from corporate polluters. It's my pleasure to introduce Nadia Gardner, a co-chief petitioner for the 100% Clean Economy Measure.
My name's Nadia Gardner and I live on the North Coast. I'm a forest landowner and a scientist, and I'm the co-chief petitioner for the 100% Clean Economy Measure. I grew up in Oregon. I began exploring the tide pools on the coast as a kid and was in the woods whenever I could. As far back as I can remember, Oregonians have had the reputation for taking responsibility and protecting our natural heritage of clean air and clean water. Some of the most remarkable laws passed to keep Oregon natural and healthy are now turning 50 years old. But now we're falling behind. 12 years ago, facing the climate crisis, Oregon adopted state goals to reduce climate pollution, the greenhouse gases which cause our climate to warm and endanger our forests, rivers, oceans, and farmland. Oregonians depend on these things for our jobs, food, health, and recreation. In the goals adopted by the legislature, there's a target for the year 2020. We're already blowing past this target, and climate pollution is on the rise. Our goals are not being enforced. Today, we're bringing forward the 100% Clean Economy Measure to put us back on track. It will update and enforce these reduction targets to what scientists tell us we need to achieve. Oregon will do our share. Our state will create programs to help us transition to clean energy and transportation. We will cut our pollution in half by 2030 2035 and achieve 100% clean economy by 2050. Oregon is ready to transition off fossil fuels and build a 100% clean economy. Other states are doing the same. Colorado, New Mexico, Hawaii, New York, and California all have similar targets in place or soon to be in place. This clean energy transition comes with a lot of opportunities for jobs in both construction and manufacturing, as well as supporting roles in human resources and administration. Some Oregon businesses, farms, and cities are already investing in carbon-free technology, but it's not happening quickly enough. We need to hold large corporate pollutions to the same responsibility as the rest of us. I have a young child, and I have to answer to him about the world I leave behind. We live on the coast where we're already seeing the effects of climate change. Ocean acidification, warming, and sea level rise are hurting our local seafood businesses. These next few years are critical. We must act now to avoid the catastrophic effects of the climate crisis. More intense wildfires, a threatened water supply, and damage to our farms and fisheries. I believe Oregonians will agree we want our state to continue to be the leader by transitioning to a 100% clean economy before it's too late. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marta Sonato, and I'm the political director for Pineros y Campesinos Unidos del Noroeste, Oregon's largest Latinx farm worker union. PECUN is proud to support these measures as part of the 100% Ready for Clean Air campaign because our members are on the front lines of the climate crisis. Every day, our members and our community feel the brunt of a changing climate, one that disproportionately impacts them as people who toil in the land every day in hot, strenuous, or smoky conditions. If we do nothing, climate change will make these dangerous conditions worse and more frequent. For a child born today, in their lifetime, they could see Oregon's summers become more like the scorching heat of Texas than the state we know and love today. Scientists predict heat-related deaths will climb across the U.S. if we continue business as usual. It is one of the leading dangers to farm workers today. Our members already work extremely hard to put food on the table for Oregonians, and we are the backbone of Oregon's 6 million agricultural enterprise. Drought, high heat days, wildfire smoke, and other extreme weather events also hurt crops, harming our agricultural economy. This will be our new reality if we allow the climate crisis to continue. Farm workers are also directly exposed to cancer-causing chemicals and toxic pollution emitted by burning gas and diesel. Doctors say this harms our lungs, heart health, and causes asthma in our children. The average farm worker's life expectancy is 49 years of age compared to 78 for the general population. We must make transition away from old polluting equipment to newer, cleaner, or zero emissions. These measures will speed that change. Much of the technology we need to reduce pollution and combat the climate crisis is out there. Laws like these will help bring the technology online more quickly and improve health among our workers and also the larger community. Our farm workers work in one of the toughest industries in the state. And as a state, we should be doing everything we can to institute strong protections for all, especially frontline communities. It is my pleasure now to introduce Chrissy Wrights, who's our co-chief petitioner for the 100% Clean Energy Initiative.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chrissy Wrights. I'm a co-chief petitioner on the 100% Clean Electricity Initiative. I'm a former neonatal intensive care nurse, a Hood River County School Board member, and a mom of 2 amazing kids. I've always cared for the environment. I think that most of us do. In Oregon, we take responsibility for what we can, whether it's using more efficient light bulbs or trying to drive less by doing all of our errands in one trip. But pollution from big sources is dangerously warming our planet and harming our health. Today, nearly half of the electricity in Oregon comes from burning coal and other fossil fuels. It's shocking for people to hear. Oregonians are proud of our hydropower, but it makes up less of the share than people think, and it's time to change that. The measure we're introducing today will transition Oregon to 100% clean, affordable, and reliable energy sources like wind and solar by the year 2045. We must act now to avoid the catastrophic effects of the climate crisis in Oregon: more intense wildfires, a threatened water supply, and damage to our farms and fisheries. In Hood River, we depend on healthy orchards, a good blanket of snow on Mount Hood, and plenty of clean water for fishing, surfing, and brewing delicious beer. We may lose these things in my kid's lifetime if we don't act now. The good news is we have the technology. 100% clean electricity is the backbone of a clean economy and 100% possible. As we electrify everything from cars and trucks to home heating and industrial manufacturing, our electricity must be the cleanest it can be. Oregon used to be a leader in the renewable energy, with $10 billion already invested and 7,700 jobs created, but we're falling behind. 7 states, including West Coast neighbors Washington, Nevada, and California, have all already committed to 100% clean electricity. This measure will bring more investment to Oregon, create good paying jobs that can't be outsourced, and benefits to all Oregon communities, rural and urban. Bringing a ballot measure to Oregon voters is a huge responsibility, but what ultimately made me want to do this is my kids. My son told me the other day he doesn't want to have children because he's afraid of what climate change will do to the world he's going to bring them. He's 15 years old. That is totally unacceptable to me. There's no option with things staying the same. We either protect the Oregon we love for our kids to grow up in, or we let them down and the consequences of climate change land on top of them. Voting yes on 100% clean electricity will help us keep our promise to my kids and to the next generation. I'm very pleased to welcome to the stage Yusuf.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yusuf Arifin, and I'm a 14-year-old freshman at Sunset High School in the Beaverton School District. To me, climate change is the most important issue of our time. It's absolutely fantastic to see how youth across the world are taking this issue very seriously through the global climate strikes. We need to actually do something, not just keep discussing solutions. As youth, all we can really do now is raise our voice, but I'm glad to see adults taking us down the right direction. Climate change is already showing us thousands of different impacts on the local, national, and international stage. For example, wildfires are becoming way more prevalent in our communities. Climate change is also having a detrimental impact on all of our health. Burning fossil fuels creates dirty, toxic gases. So by getting off fossil fuels, we'll be solving 2 problems. Earlier this year, I was extremely disappointed to hear that our Oregon State Legislature did not pass the Clean Energy Jobs Bill, one of the most promising bills to combat climate change. I was there the entire time, and I was extremely shocked that this did not get passed into law. Lots of lawmakers gave their word that this campaign would be successful, but the results speak for themselves. I've been taught to keep my word, so why didn't they do that as well? Where is the leadership I expect from my lawmakers? While we are incredibly frustrated that this did not go according to plan last year, we have not given up yet. We still want our legislature to act, and quickly. Oregon must do something bold on climate change in 2020. If they fail us again, these ballot measures will guarantee us that change will come next year. By encouraging clean energy and clean cars, we can get rid of a lot of air pollution caused by burning dirty fuels. Doctors say that it could reduce things such as asthma, lung disease, heart disease, and even cancer, especially among youth and seniors. It is more important now than ever that we act together on climate change. The results are clear, and the more we delay, the more my generation and future generations will have to suffer. Now is the time for us to create climate history and give back to the environment, which has provided us with so much already. I have no doubt in my mind that if we work together and put our minds to it, anything can be accomplished. Thank you very much.
climate crisis. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we got a lot of work to do.
If you have signs, can you please give them back to us?